the growth of India is remarkable. It's a remarkable country, but it also has remarkable problems that we have addressed in these last 2 days at the Paralegal Conference. We focused on the importance of land and how it affects people's life. It's a sign of their dignity, it's a sign of their humanness, and we want to protect that, and we want to improve the situation that they face on a day-to-day basis. Whether you're in the rural villages or a forest land, people are affected by the fact that they don't have clear title and possession to the land that they work. And often they don't have the basic information in order to know how to go about changing their situation. And so they live in a very precarious and vulnerable situation. The conference these past 2 days, with the encouragement of the Minister, Jairam Ramesh, has been very important for the next steps forward in order to be able to resolve some of these issues that have been identified. We know that there's a way to resolve them. We know that it will take many hours of work. We know that it will take ministries of the government working together. It will take people at the grassroots level working together. It will take communities coming together and being well informed of their rights, but also their responsibilities that they have towards land. But this is something that we saw in these 2 days is possible. We can look forward to achieving this goal of being able to make a difference in the forest area and in the rural villages where people depend on land for their livelihood and for their well-being. We will have to do a lot more hard work. It will require going to the field, understanding the situations, understanding the languages and the culture and the customary laws of people in order to be able to bring them together with the laws that are established by the state governments as well as by the national government. This will be important work that today's Hyderabad Declaration gives us the footprint for how to move forward. I think one of the most encouraging signs is what we have renamed paralegals. Maya Mitra is a word that means justice friend, someone who comes alongside and provides information and knowledge, but also is there as another person, as someone who cares and who wants to help the person resolve their land rights. This is very encouraging for me, for the organization, but it also should be encouraging for the people that we seek to serve. And we thank everyone for their participation and look forward to the next steps in walking together.
I think that this conference, it's a good opportunity for the participants to discuss more in details what is the role of the paralegals working in land issues at the local level. In my case, I came from Ecuador, thinking in the different cultural dimensions competing between Ecuador and India. But when we talk about land issues, really the situation is very similar. For that, I think we need to organize the information that different speakers present in this conference to identify how many tools, how many proposals we have or experience also to promote the role of the paralegals and to have more impact with the role with the communities at the local level. I hope that the next times we have to maintain the contacts with different organizations that work in this issue to organize the other events to talk with the same point and each time to work more and more on how we can concrete different strategies to incorporate the paralegals at the different levels in different countries as important tool to solve the land problems and other rural conflicts that the community needs the support of the paralegals. Thank you.
Hello, I am Vasuprada from Pendekanti Law College. I am a final year student here. I am here to share my experiences and my learning experiences rather from this 2-day seminar, International Conference on Paralegal Models to Resolve the Problems of Poor and Tribals. It's a very enthusiastic and educative session what we went through, and I could hear to the great speakers like Jairam Ramesh Garu and our CM and many more speakers even from out of India, and it was a very great experience. Importantly, what I would like to tell you is I had this subject of land rights in my earlier semester, but that was just a bookish language. But what all I studied is totally different from the statistics what I am seeing here in the conference. So what I understood is reading or studying land rights is very much different, or it is totally different from what is going on in rural areas. So importance of paralegals helping poor to get their lands back and helping them to retrieve their lost lands or alienated lands is very important, and their role is really great. I would like to help them, and in my career soon after I complete my law, I'll definitely be in RDI and help them, and I think even I'll become a paralegal to help these poor and tribals get their lands, and I see at least some of the poor and tribals to be happy. Thank you.
Tribal land rights are violated by powerful individuals, the state, corporate and various other agencies. Tribals are therefore completely alienated from the existing legal system, where they don't perceive to get any justice at all. Paralegals from their own community can to some extent bridge the gap between the tribals and the legal system. This can provide a little space for articulation of their problem and getting some relief from the legal system, providing there is the requisite political will and cooperation coming from the state agency, institutional support, and also support from committed lawyers. Some of these ideas were discussed in this conference over the 2 days, and we hope that further clarification and the crystallization of issues would emerge over a long period of time for this scheme to take a concrete shape.
Hi, I'm Xiaohui Wu. I work for RDI in China. I work as an attorney. My responsibility is mainly to focus on farmers' land rights issues in China. I'm very honored to have this opportunity to come to the conference and learn the experience of India in providing legal aid services for the poor farmers through a network of paralegals. In China, we don't have paralegals networks in China, but from this conference I've learned a lot of useful experience from the presenters and the speakers. In the session I presented, the topic is on increasing access to justice for the poor people through legal aid services provided by law schools. There are professors talked about how law schools here in India can educate law students about access to justice issues of the poor people, so that law students are exposed to justice issues, and they also will get opportunities to help the poor farmers when they are still young. In China, we do a similar work. We have 2 legal aid centers which are supported by RDA in China, and there's lots of issues, common issues, challenges that the two most populous countries in the world are facing, and I bring back many useful information and experience from this conference. So thank you colleagues in RDA India for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Pallavi Bahuguna from Rural Litigation and Entitlement Kendra, an organization which works for the rights and entitlements of marginalized groups with special focus on women. This 2-day paralegal workshop has been a very energizing and at the same time a learning experience, for me, and the lessons from various other participants would prove very useful, where we could replicate or even use their insights into our functioning, and at the same time our functionings could be incorporated by them on the issue of land rights and women. And the participants who have come from across the globe have provided an insight on issues in their countries also, and the challenges which they are facing, and we realize that we are not the only ones who are facing such challenges like the patriarchal mindsets, but also them. This conference and my participation will go a long way in strengthening the paralegal movement, which we are witnessing all across the globe now, not just our country.
This two-day international conference on paralegal services helping the people in resolving the land right disputes and land right related problems is a wonderful experience, wherein we could share the ideas from different people coming from different walks of life, ranging from Union Minister for Rural Development, Mr. Jairam Ramesh, to the ordinary student of law, learning law in an ordinary traditional law college of Andhra Pradesh. People working on land rights at different places, the rural areas, remote parts of this country, this state, have come over to the meeting place, and they went on sharing their experiences. They were coming with their own suggestions, and in fact their ideas, their suggestions have been equally important, as important as the viewpoints of Union Minister Jairam Ramesh, Chief Minister Kiran Kumar Reddy, Revenue Minister Raghuveer Reddy, and several other persons, which include the galaxy of personalities like Justice L. Narasimha Reddy, Judge Andhra Pradesh High Court, Justice S. Muralidhar, Judge Delhi High Court. In fact, they have told us what is the size of this problem, what is the significance of this problem, what is the importance of land, and how the land is revered as part of life, part of human being, part of everything which makes life a real life. So the life worth of the land is explained by every person. And the systems were analyzed, discussed. Mr. Jairam Ramesh talked about the problem that is increasing in left-wing extremist areas. And he said that the government is considering it as a priority to develop the areas, to wean away people from the influence of extremists and make them to join the mainstream of the mainstream personalities of this country. And then Professor Haragopal retorted back, saying that at least Maoists made us to think about the problem of land, problem of agriculture, problem of rural people, and the government of India started considering the rural problems of the people in central India as very, very important problem which has to be addressed immediately. That's the advantage of the agitations, that is the advantage of the questioning consciousness of the people. That's what Professor Haragopal was talking about. And he emphasized the need of considering human being as a parameter, human being as a concern, human being as the yardstick for considering the development. That is really a wonderful idea that has come up from Professor Haragopal. Justice Muralidhar, in his presentation, talked about the role of a paralegal, how he should be working as an agent, a link and a liaison between the people and the administration. And in fact, he brought out the real perspective of paralegals. And then ultimately the meeting concluded with a valedictory address by L. Narasimha Reddy, who said that land is not commodity of commerce, and you are not supposed to look to land as a piece of property. It is something eternal, which is beyond the life of a human being. It was in existence before the human beings came, and it will be in existence beyond the human beings that you are looking to today. So it is the trust that a human being has in the shape of relationship with the land. It's not the ownership of the land. He said, if a man claims that I am the owner of the land, land laughs and says, what is your age and what is my age? I am living there since the beginning, and you have come up just now. And what is my age going to be? I will survive beyond you. And you claim that you are the owner of my land. And it was really a fantastic anecdote which will reveal the importance of land, antiquity of land, and significance of the land as far as its relationship with human being is concerned. And ultimately, the Hyderabad Declaration came up with a suggestion that paralegals have to be spread over the entire country. Their services have to be institutionalized, and they should be helping the people in resolving the problems of the people concerning the land and other rights. They should help in spreading the awareness of the rights and remedies that are available to the people. And they should act as a link between the aggrieved persons and the administration. And they have to take the problems to the dispute resolution fora and get their problems solved. And once the Government of India, national law schools and NGOs together work to develop a paralegal force, and he hoped Justice Muralidhar, Justice Narasimha Reddy and several other spokespersons, several other representatives, they expected that the lands related problems will be totally solved, and it will save the time, money and energy of the people, and it will be useful for the entire development of the country.
Hello, I'm Saranya from Paralegal Law College. I'm doing my final year law course. I think I'm very lucky enough to attend this conference on the rights of the poor and the scope of paralegals in this respect. We have come here and known what the meaning of a paralegal is actually, and many other related aspects like what is the actual problem faced by poor people right now in our country regarding their land rights mainly, and what is all the problems that are posed in different dimensions, and what can all be the probable solutions, and how far can a paralegal exactly work in this respect. And coming to the point, like in my career, I think we can take forward this aspect of paralegals. Any advocate, it is very easy for them, and if they can put up some little effort, it's very easy for them to know the actual problems that are faced by poor people right now, because we already have a concept of this land laws in our curriculum as such. So I think it's very responsible part on us also, even though it's not a part of the curriculum, that we be a paralegal ourselves. I take this initiative to be a paralegal myself, and I also initiate like my friends and others who are all there, and maybe when I go and interact in a village, I'll initiate them also, inspire them also to be paralegals. And it's really very helpful looking at the statistics that they provided in the conference, that one paralegal can make 10 families happy in 1 month. And that's really great, and I think this will go a far way. Thank you all.
The tribals mainly suffer from triple problem, that is lack of awareness, illiteracy and poverty. Due to that, they are not getting justice for their lands, and the lands of most of the lands have gone into the hands of the non-tribals by moneylenders, by usufruct moneylenders, and intelligent, the advanced sections of non-tribals have occupied the lands, and they are occupying the lands in Benami also. Even the titles are on the names of tribals, but the fruits are enjoyed by non-tribals. A paralegal system is established, and they are posted in rural areas from among the tribals. The tribals will get justice, and they explain and what is the title, and how they have lost the lands, and how to get the restoration of the lands. If it is educated to the tribals, justice will be rendered to the tribals. So the paralegal system should be established in rural areas through educated tribals, that one. So the tribals are having their own dialects. So the tribals mainly suffer from triple problem, that is lack of awareness, illiteracy and poverty. Due to that, the tribals are not in a position to reach or to approach the legal courts to get back their lands which were occupied by tribals, non-tribals. So most of the lands have gone into the hands of non-tribals by usufruct moneylenders, and other advanced sections of the non-tribal society have occupied the lands. But as there is no legal advisors to them, they are not in a position to get back their lands. This paralegal system is introduced in tribal areas, and the local tribals are employed and trained and employed as paralegals. They will get the good response, and the lands can be restored to the tribals. So first, if this program to be successful, the local scheduled tribes should be trained and posted in their own areas, because every tribal is having their own dialects. They can convince the tribals in their dialect and bring the legal facts to the notice of the higher authorities and get back their lands. Now, the training seminar has been organized here. It helps us to train the tribals and to educate the educated youth to function as paralegals in their areas, and which will benefit the tribals to get their lands back. And there are so many benami transactions which cannot be brought to the notice of the higher authorities by the tribals themselves due to poverty and some political or socio-cultural problems. If the paralegals educate them and make aware the tribals their own rights, they will come to the higher authorities and get back their lands. So, the training which we received here, the seminar, we got the material and the information from the seminar. It helps us to educate the tribals and tribal paralegals. Actually, some paralegals are working under the control of IKP, but they are concentrated. Presently, there are some paralegals working in tribal areas and rural areas under IKP. They concentrated on SSGs and other problems only. But land problems they have not taken up in a larger way. So, if these paralegals are motivated, the local tribals are motivated and trained as paralegals and posted in their areas, the system of the justice will benefit the tribals and poor. So, more emphasis has been given on land problems. So, this land problem to be explained to the tribal paralegals, and they will take up the issue in a larger way, so that can benefit the poorest of the poor tribals and who are gullible. And they will now, who are landless, they will become some land owners and settled cultivators. They will become settled cultivators. Thank you.
My name is Vivek Maru, and I'm the CEO of a organization called Namati, which is focused on legal empowerment. And I ran in Sierra Leone for 4 years a community paralegal program. So it's inspiring to come here to Andhra Pradesh. It's inspiring to come here to Andhra Pradesh to learn about the inspiring work that people have been doing to apply the paralegal approach to protect the land rights of the poor. And empowerment is about ensuring that law and policy are not just in the books or in the high courts, but that they are on the farm, in the street, within the grasp of every person. And the community paralegal is a powerful bridge for making that vision come true, for realizing that ideal of legal empowerment. So I leave here with a feeling of hope, and I am excited to see this work carried forward.
I'm Rudalika Concepta from Pendekanti Law College, and I'm here to express my opinion on the land issues which were discussed in the two-day conference held here by NALSAR and RDI. Well, the two-day conference has been a very lively one, an interactive one, and it has helped us all in knowing what the actual rural problems are regarding land issues. And we got to know what are the problems being faced by the rural poor folk and also by the tribal. And all this had been highlighted, and we got the required amount of knowledge by all the various speakers who had come. And Mr. Wu had also highlighted points and highlighted the issues which were faced by the rural folk of China too. So some way, maybe in the coming future, I would like to do something for the rural folk and help the tribal folk getting back their land and recovering them from their poverty. And regarding the paralegals also, we got to know what paralegals are with this conference and how they can help the rural folk. So in future my aim would be in helping these paralegals grow and also in supporting their cause, the RDI cause also, in a small way at least. Thank you.
Yes, I think for the last 2 days, I think we are discussing various land issues, particularly how to protect the land rights of poor people, and for that, what could be the role of legal and paralegal support system that we have in this country, or what can be done about it. This is broadly the theme. In fact, some of the discussions that took place yesterday and today are very useful in the sense. One thing is that it is a sensitization process. Many people may not know what it is all about. At least some people will know what it is all about. And secondly, how to know also what are the problems that are there, particularly in the land sector, the real land issues both in tribal and non-tribal areas. And then how to deal with various different types of situations, looking at the local situation, local power structure, local political process, social process, and other relationships that exist. How we can build a system by which the poor people can be delivered justice in terms of accessing land rights and also protecting their land rights. More important, first protect their land rights and then have that kind of improved access. Second thing is a lot of people, very important people, Devi Saxena was there, then there were several other people who spoke about the limitations of the existing system and then how things can be improved even within the system to see that whatever laws exist when the loopholes are there, how those loopholes can be planned and then some improvement can take place in delivering justice in the context of land rights of the poor people. I think broadly these are the things I should say.
We are organizing this international conference on paralegal models to resolve land problems of the poor in the time when AP has shown successful results of resolving land issues of the poor by using paralegals. Now, the right time to relook at it, how it is working and whether it has some lessons to offer, and how do we take it up to a scale, and how do we take this program to help the rural poor in the entire country. So we have organized this conference in collaboration with Nalsar University of Law, basically to highlight the paralegal initiatives across the globe, what they're doing, what are the lessons learned, and design a blueprint which can help in scaling up the paralegal initiative across the country. It is very fortunate that the Minister for Rural Development, Mr. Jairam Ramesh, was here in the conference and made an announcement saying that he would take a decision to scale up the paralegal initiative at least in 10 more states in coming 1 or 2 years. So that there is a hope that poor people in this at least 10 states can now hope of some kind of relief by taking help from the paralegals. RDI is supported Nalsar University of Law in establishing a center. It's a center for land rights, basically to take up 2-3 important key initiatives. One very important initiative is the research and documentation and publication of work regarding land rights, simplifying land laws. We all know that there is a great need for legal information on land rights. When you go to the villages, whether it's a common man in the village, whether it's a revenue officer, whether it's a paralegal, there's so much of confusion and there's no clarity about land laws, and they don't have complete information about land rights and land laws. This center will take up initiatives to simplify laws, prepare awareness material, and communicate to the paralegals and revenue officers. That is one of the major objectives of the center. Second objective of the center is to train paralegals, and Nalsar has a history of training 400 paralegals in last 4 years' time. We wanted to continue this initiative and train more and more paralegals who can serve the poor in getting their land issue resolved. And third objective of the center is to provide capacity building or orientation to revenue officers on land laws and land rights, and also various judgments of AP High Court and Supreme Court, so that the Tahsildars and RDOs and other revenue officers are equipped to deal with land issues of the poor. So this is the first time, I believe, in the history of law schools in India where there's some of this kind of initiative happen to reach out to the poor. In fact, Nalsar has a motto of training professionally competent and socially relevant lawyers. I think this center will go in a long way in creating a pool of socially relevant lawyers who can work for the poor. In looking back last 2 days, the objective of the conference is to get good feedback and suggestions. How do we design an effective paralegal system so that the poor are benefited? We had colleagues from South Africa, Ecuador, China, and a person who had experience in Sri Lanka coming and speaking about paralegal initiatives. They've given wonderful suggestions. The house, in a unanimous basis agreed, the house with more than 100 or 150 people from across country and other places also, that there is a great need to address the land issues of the poor and tribals. There is no doubt about it. There are millions of poor and tribals are suffering with land problem. The deprivation of land means deprivation of their life. And second, unanimity among this gathering here is that we have to have a support mechanism, whether it's a village level or a block level or a district level, whatever it is possible, to have some support system in shape of having a person knowing the law. Whether you call him as a paralegal or a barefoot lawyer or a community resource person, this person, a man or woman, who has the basic knowledge on land laws, who can then give legal information and also facilitate resolving land issues. I am happy to share that after 2 days of intensive deliberations, where all the senior bureaucrats from different state governments and central government, policy makers, activists, NGO people, and a lot of even people working in different political parties, everybody joined hands together, and they have come out with a resolution, and we are calling it as Hyderabad Paralegal Declaration, with a focused actionable points, which includes to have a paralegal at least one per mandal or one per block, to have a paralegal service center established at least one in a block, so that there is a physical space available for the poor to approach. And second, a very key message from this conference is that we have to have a system where we make use of the services of the law students. In fact, a very famous committee report, it is called Committee on Implementation of Legal Aid Schemes, by two eminent Supreme Court judges, Justice P. N. Bhagavati, Justice Krishna, made a very valid point stating that using law students not only will help in reaching out to the poor, but also will build socially relevant laws. They get more close to society. So this conference made a big recommendation saying that government and law schools and law colleges in this country should take initiatives to involve law students in providing legal aid to the poor. These two are the major kind of takeaways from the conference, and these are the major points in the Hyderabad Declaration. I just want to add one more thing, that this conference has a uniqueness in the sense, this is not just conference for the sake of it and print a report after that and circulate the report, but this is going to lay a foundation for a big paralegal initiative which is going to come as a part of the initiatives of the Rural Development Department at the central government level, where the Honorable Union Minister Sri Jairam Ramesh Garu is going to lead the initiative. He is very passionate about it. He is very supportive of the initiative. I think next 6 months to come, we are going to see the fruits of this conference in shape of having a lot of paralegals that is working in these 10 or 15 states, where the poor are going to get benefited by these paralegals.